All right, hey everybody, welcome back to another What's This Wednesday. And here we have an epic little video game off of a little movie called Kung Fury. Now, if you haven't seen the movie Kung Fury, this might not make so much sense for you. But if you want to, go watch Kung Fury right now. It's like only half an hour long and you can find it on YouTube for free. Go watch it, it's amazing, it's funny. It's got all of the amazing 80s campiness you can ask for, which is why this looks like an old 80s arcade game. And so, we're going to kick it off by starting with the story mode of Kung Fury here, and we're also going to
This doesn't look like the beach.
be just noting that I'm actually doing this a little bit different. I'm not recording while I'm playing this time. I'm going to be recording after I've already played, just to kind of see if I can get a better flow with how the show goes. And I know I'm talking over the little preamble here, but we'll get into that.
What the hell?
So essentially this is the arcade machine that happens in the beginning of Kung Fury. And so now he's exclaiming that, no, you're not in hell, you're in worse, you're inside of me, the machine. So he relayed Hackerman's hacking signal in order to get him inside himself, and the Kung Führer, which is Kung Fu Hitler, essentially, has trapped them inside this video game, and now they must fight their way out. There we go, we have a cameo by Thor, who's also in the movie. So if this isn't, like I said, if this isn't making a lot of sense to you, you need to go watch Kung Fury in order to fully appreciate this. Or just take my word for it and kind of think of this as a really bad spoof of a lot of 80s tropes and a lot of 80s pop culture references. So right off the gate here, you're going to notice that I'm just kind of swinging wildly and getting a lot of misses. That's because I thought this was a side-scrolling brawler at first, so I was trying to hit left and right to move around, but it's more of a one-finger death punch kind of thing. So I have to wait for these guys to get to me and then punch them in order to build up my bonus meter and my combo meter in order to get more points and, you know, not get hit. So here we are, as you can see, as the combo progresses, Kung Fury, that's his name, is Kung Fury. We have our very, very 80s protagonist with the leather jacket and headband with, what do those look like? Converse sneakers, at least? So, yeah, he progresses in a chain of attacks. So you got your punch, your kick, and then I think he does a gunshot, and then a taser, like a lightning attack, which he all uses in the movie. These are all things from the movie, as I was going to say. So, all in all, like I said, this is very reminiscent of One Finger Death Punch, so it's not necessarily, you know, too involved, but it does start to pick up later on. As you can see, these blonde-haired Nazis, that's what they are taking 2 hits, whereas the guys with the black hoods or the black masks, I think they're gas masks actually, they only take 1 hit. So the farther we get along, the more hits the enemies will take, and I just whiffed that. And here we have the introduction of the 3-hit girl, and she teleports from side to side. So you have to alternate which direction you hit in order to be able to take her out, which doesn't seem too hard with Kung Fury, but yeah, you'll see in a minute, and a few probably, just exactly how difficult that can be with some of the other characters, because you don't, as you noticed, it threw me in as Kung Fury on the story mode, because in story mode, it will tell you what character to use on what part of the story, so you don't really get to swap to a character you're better with in order to progress through the story. But hey, that's just, you know, that's a little nitpick, it's not too bad. Eventually you'll get better with the characters as you play them more and more. And to be honest, you could probably beat this game in half an hour to an hour, depending on your skill level. I mean, look at that, we're already at the first boss. It hasn't even been like 5 minutes and we're at the first boss here. So this is where, oh, I missed that. We'll see about that, coin sucker. So there's a bunch of terrible 80s insults and puns. And of course there I was, not sure that I could move, because now you can freely move with left and right, and now you have to double tap to initiate your attack on the boss. So it's a little weird, it takes a little bit to get used to, and I learned just then that you can actually double tap to attack through as a free dash, so you don't get hit by the boss's attacks. And, you know, each one of your attacks is going to take roughly a bar of the boss's health at the bottom. So if you see the segments, you're going to know exactly how many times you have to repeat this phase. Hopefully if you do well on the wave, actually you get healed up to full anyway. So hopefully you do well, and it's not too big of an issue for you to dodge these attacks. I mean, you can dash right through them, and the explosions don't actually hurt after they've happened. His shockwave does, though, as I tried to get in a little too quick because of the hubris. Oh, don't worry, hubris will be coming full circle so hard when we get into some of the other characters. And we have this cheesy choir-like singing to bring down what is a circuit board. The arcade machine dropped a computer chip. Hackerman is one of my favorite characters from the movie because it's just the way they spoof hacking things from the 80s is just... It makes me laugh because it's so outrageous and so stupid, but it fits so perfect. And Barbariana is actually from a time where they ride T-Rexes and have machine guns, Gatling guns even, and also laser raptors. That's the kind of movie. If you're wondering what is all of this, and there's even Thor too. And he always just comes in for one-liners, Thor, and okay, so now we're Barbariana. It throws us in second stage. We only have 2 health as her, so it's getting the difficulty ramped up a bit here for story mode. But yeah, if you're wondering, like, what even is this, you're gonna have to watch the movie to find out. It is absolutely outrageous, and you'll probably laugh a lot at it. It's kind of a cult classic. But as you can see, Barbariana has a combo. She starts out with her axe, and then she hits with her Gatling gun. And then you get a 3rd hit with your Gatling gun, a 4th hit, I think, and then your 5th hit will always be a stream of bullets that will kill whatever's in front of it. So even 2-hit enemies, 3-hit enemies will all die by her Gatling gun spray. So yeah, 4 hits, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you get your flame, and you get your enrage, and you get to shoot your stream of bullets. I was having a little bit of difficulty with her at first, I believe, but she became my favorite character because of her Gatling stream. It's quite effective at killing things, but the problem is you really have to be counting your hits and what your character does on certain attacks in this game, because if you attack over like that, like I just attacked and then immediately went right, but there was nobody there to hit because I was expecting the teleport. So you really do have to expect what state your character is in, and we now have the introduction of what I call the groin bots, because they're just literally legs, robot legs. So I call them the groin bots, and they take 4 hits normally, but just like everything else, they get killed in 1 hit by the Gatling gun spread, which is why I like Barbariana a lot. But yeah, so like I was saying, you really do need to have a good tab on what your character can do and at what part of their combo you're at. Because if you try and, like I was saying earlier, like if you try and attack those cheerleaders, they're not cheerleaders, but I'm going to call them cheerleaders because they kind of look like cheerleaders to me a little bit. I think it's the blonde ponytails. But if you try and attack them after you use your Gatling gun spread and instantly kill them, but you try and attack behind you, you're going to lose a bit of your combo. Which, if you're trying to get a high score in this game for whatever reason, probably to be the best. I mean, I'm sure you could be the best if you guys put enough time into it. Oh, I got chump kicked there because I was trying to do the left, right, or right, left, depending on where they come from combo, and I whiffed it. I whiffed it real hard. So yeah, you really do have to pay attention to what you're doing in this game. All in all, though, I love the old arcade aesthetic. I love how the screen, if you notice, the screen has the grid overlay. If you look really closely, I might even zoom in here because there's not much going on the screen. I might even zoom in and you can see the little, like, grid of, I think they might even be hexagons. I can't zoom in right now while I'm saying it. But yeah, there's little hexagons like an arcade machine would have on its screen, you know, or in its display, depending on what arcade machine and, you know, what time frame it was. And it's also got, like, even the curved texture on the side, and you even got, like, on the sides, if you look to the side of the screen, you can see the reflection of the screen because it's mimicking an arcade cabinet. This thing is just absolutely drenched in old arcade game goodness. Let's see, what else is there? I mean, it's got the minimalistic style, obviously. You've got your health counter, your big bonus counter, and the enemies remaining down on the bottom, and that's all you really need. There's not much else, and when you get into a boss fight, it changes slightly, and that's all you really needed. Of course, there's your big neon signs for bar, and your windows that have broken panels of glass, just because that's what every building had in the 80s when you were in a fighting, side-scrolling brawler game. And when you hit things, it's like when you press left or right to hit an enemy, it has a satisfying little pause. It's not a long pause like some characters have. I believe Hackerman has a pretty big pause on characters because of what he does, but every time you hit something with a melee attack with Kung Fury or Barbariana, you get this satisfying little pause it just so you know you hit them. And then when you get hit, there's the big thud and your screen shakes a bit to let you know that you've been hit in case you're in the middle of a big skirmish with 3 or 4 people getting too close. And I think that's what makes this small little arcade style really endearing, is that it's got a lot of good feedback when you play it. So it's not like, because even One Finger Death Punch, I'm going to harken back to that, I'm going to probably say that a few more times, but even that had a lot of good impact feel when you hit somebody in One Finger Death Punch. So it was the same type of gameplay. People come from left and right, and you have to hit the buttons that they come from in order to do the combos and keep your combo up before getting hit, before dying, right? Super easy in theory, but as the characters develop and you get different characters, they change your game feel and how you want to play, so you don't just have one stick man to deal with here in Kung Fury. Street Rage. I thought it said Kung Fury Streets of Rage, to be honest, when I first loaded it up, which I was like, can they call it Streets of Rage? But no, it's Kung Fury Street Rage, probably to harken back to the game's Streets of Rage. So yeah, it's a little puzzling, that this game isn't that expensive. It's only, I think, $3.99 on the I got it on the PlayStation Store because, oh, big surprise, PlayStation sent out a promotional deal that until January 31st, they gave you $10 into your wallet, so I wanted to pick up a few games. So I put 3 games in my cart, spent $15, so $5 of my own money, got 3 games, and I'm not going to tell you what the other 2 games are, because guess what? I picked them because they're going on the channel. That's right, I might give a little sneak peek later on, closer when those videos come out, on what they'll be, but just know, guys, that I'm thinking long term here about some cool stuff I got on the channel, and they might be games that you've probably never played, because maybe you're thinking, they're a little expensive for what I think they are going to be, or maybe you heard some bad stuff about them. Probably the one game, when you figure out what one game I'm going to be doing for a But Is It Fun after the Zelda review. I know the Zelda's taking a long time, guys, but once I get done with that Zelda review, the next game is going to be the one that I downloaded for my PlayStation 4, so there's a little hint for you. It's going to be a PlayStation 4 title, so go ahead and leave your guess in the comments, and maybe if you get it right, maybe I'll tell you, or maybe I won't. I don't know, sometimes I like being whimsical and fickle. It's great. So yeah, I picked up this game for $4, and it's a little puzzling because I don't know how I feel about it. It's so simplistic that I don't know if it would keep my attention for much longer, but I feel like since it's short enough that you could beat it within half an hour to an hour, depending on your skill level, it really feels... see, this is where I said it's perplexing to me. I want to say that it's totally worth the $4, but that's only because I'm bringing in my love for Kung Fury from the movie, right? Kung Fury the movie. I gotta make sure I iterate that properly. The movie Kung Fury into the game, this love for this whole theme, even the music, just the crazy 80s themed music, it gets to my heart, you guys. I love 80s themed stuff. It's all fantastic. And I think that's why I want to say this game's really worth the $4, but okay, so this is going to be my verdict here. If you have seen Kung Fury and enjoy Kung Fury, and like One Finger Death Punch, you'll probably get a big kick out of this game, and it'll be well worth your $4. But if you haven't seen Kung Fury, and watching me play this game here, is enough for you, then you know what, you're probably good. You know, you don't need to spend the $4, because this is pretty much all the game is. It's just left, right combo, and, try and make it to the end of the waves. So, I mean, I'm not doing too well on this run here. I mean, I'm getting the hang of it. You know, as, of course, like I said, the more you play a character, the more you're going to get adept with it and learn when to use their big special attacks, like the Gatling attack, and when to not use it. You know, or to prioritize a left side or a right side. There's a lot of little nuance to the game that makes it just a bit more thick than attack left and attack right to defeat the waves. So I think I now make it to... Oh no, this is the final wave. I thought this was the boss. No, this is the final wave, and I actually thought I should have got hit there. I guess when I attacked out of the way, I dodged the incoming attack from the groin bot. Which I still think is a stupid name that I decided to call them groin bots. And the Nazi cheerleaders and Nazi groin bots. Geez, these names. What am I ever gonna do? But yeah, so I mean, it's very simplistic in nature. I've probably already said that, but I'm just trying to, articulate a point that's stuck in my head that I want to find the right words for, you know? It's a little bit more difficult for me to talk over the game like I am doing now, but I think it will provide a little bit more in-depth discussion about the game. Like, here we go. We're at the second boss. I think all the bosses are the arcade machine. So none of you seem to understand. I'm not locked in here with you. You're locked in here with me! And then probably evil laugh. You know, but it'd probably be more cheesy with like an effect and stuff on it. So I was not sure what to do here until I realized I could attack back, and then I realized, oh, it's a Ganondorf fight. So this is really cool. I like how they added this in, you know, straight up Ganondorf fight. And of course, I've got my Gatling there at 4 hits, and you just get in and mash. You just mash the button on this guy. I didn't know he would do that attack, though, so that kind of caught me off guard. And then I double-tapped the wrong direction. I tried to dash out of the way in order to turn around and dash back. Luckily, when you reach a boss, you don't have to do the waves all over again. And I've never seen that attack either. So the key to this boss, which you'll find out soon, is you actually have to stay under him, for the most part, until you see him. Like, look at that button mash. It's just a crazy button mash. So you have to stay under him, which I'm not doing yet, because I think I die 1 or 2 more times trying to fight him, because I don't get the hang of the lasers. The lasers only ever shoot out from just below him and to the side, and out to the edge of the screen. So right here, I noticed that, but I got hit. I got hit just at the edge of it. So you want to stay just beneath him, so you can go either left or right, depending on where the beam's going to go. And then after that, it's just very simple. I think this is the go that I actually kill him in. So the bosses aren't anything spectacular. They're not, you know, anything in-depth, because the game really only has 2 functions, which is attack left or attack right, and then when you're in the boss fights, move left and right, and then attack left and right. And then, of course, mash the button, but that's attack, obviously. So, but the boss fights are fun. Like, I found this fun, because you only have to do it a few times, right? 3 or 4. Usually 4. Because I don't think I kill him here, because something happened. As you can see, I'm trying to tap, but I went through him with a run instead of actually attacking him. Which I thought was weird, but hey, it might be the game trying to prevent me from beating him in 3 cycles. So, I'll give that a pass. So, you know, you only really have to defeat the boss's cycles and get him into a damaging phase 4 times, every time, I think. Because, spoilers, I don't actually beat this within the 30-minute time limit of this video. I think it's 28 minutes, maybe around there, 26 to 28 minutes.
Another one bites the dust.
Oh yes, Triceracop. I couldn't remember his name, but Triceracop is one of my favorite characters just for theme, because he's just kind of like a... And then Zeus with his huge muscle point.
And it's that way.
I never actually get to play as Triceracop in the story mode, because unfortunately Hacker Man is just absolutely crazy, and I don't know how to deal with Hacker Man.
Up, down, down, left, left.
And so here we have some Gruber and Hans Gruber. Oh no, Lamstach and Gruber. I was gonna say Hans Gruber. I should know that name from somewhere. But they're just speaking random German, and here rolls in Hacker Man with his, like, it looks like a Pepsi can mixed with a Coke can laser gun. So I wasn't exactly sure what to do here, but what you actually have to do is you have to keep mashing the button until your hacking meter fills up, and then hit once more in order to attack them. But the thing is I press 1 too many times far too often, because I'm trying to do it quickly, that... Oh, the cheerleaders also give me a lot of gaff, because you need to keep tapping left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right in order to hit them, because they don't get stunned like other ones. I eventually get it, but it's a very difficult means of combo for me. I never really quite got it, even in the next 5 minutes I think I play this for, on Hacker Man. That's how many times I fail with him. I can't get it, because it's that lock-on mechanic that just gets me. I was so used to being taught that, you know, you pressed one direction to attack, that now I'm mashing the button to lock onto things, and I'm losing my combo. Like, I'm not even going for combo bonus. I'm gonna miss and probably not have higher than a 10 combo this entire time as Hacker Man. But thematically, I think he's one of the greatest themed characters, because he's got like an old CRT monitor, right? He's got like some weird pixelated readout on his chest, and he's got what looks like cardboard boxes for armor, and a webcam on his shoulder. So, and then I think he's got also a dumb wig too, and then a bad, like, screen readout of his face. You know, a digitized readout of his face. It's just, oh, it's so drenched in all terrible 80s tropes and sci-fi gaffs. And I think that's why I love this game, because even when you're doing the hacking down at the bottom, it goes through like the whole rainbow, because the neon rainbow effects were a huge thing back then, especially the 3 colors of yellow, pink, and blue. Those were your like neon rainbow. And I don't exactly know if that's for a specific reason. I don't know if neon yellow, neon pink, and neon blue, and neon green lights were very easy to manufacture, like if they were the cheapest, or if they were just, the best to make because their colors stood out so prominently. I have no idea, but I do think they look amazing together. Especially if you've ever played League of Legends. I've mentioned that before on the channel, but there was old arcade skins like Arcade Hecarim. Yes, Arcade Hecarim. Sorry, I had a little mouth typo there. But Arcade Hecarim's main 3 colors were yellow, blue, and pink, neon colors, right? And I called him Rainbow Pony 5000 when I played him, just because it was absolutely ridiculous of a color scheme and a skin, especially with his Guitar Hero glaive. But that's what he was inspired by, was this old 80s arcade aesthetic. And so I don't want to say this arcade aesthetic is timeless, because it might be lost on some of the younger kids or younger viewers that I may have on the channel. But to me, this feeling, even the grid on the screen, the sides of the arcade cabinet that you have here, the insert coin instead of press start at the beginning, it all calls back to a time when I was in the arcades. Now, my hometown when I was growing up didn't have much of an arcade. It only had a small room attached to the movie theater that you could go in and play their like 5 arcade games, which I think they only had like 1 Street Fighter cabinet, and the only other place to play arcade games was in the bowling alley, and they only had 3 or 4 as well, one of them being a crazy taxi machine later on, but they also had a Street Fighter cabinet. So the only 2 places in my small town to go were, I think, 10 blocks away from each other. So if your arcade cabinet for Street Fighter was taken on one place and there was a huge lineup, you'd have to go to the other location, either the movie theater or the bowling alley, and then throw up your quarters to play Street Fighter. I was a little young at the time, but I would go with my brother a lot, so I would watch him play and he'd try and teach me how to play. And I used to be okay-ish at fighting games when I was younger, but they were never a game that I was really into. I never knew how to block. To be honest, I never understood how to block because the games wouldn't teach me, right? It'd say, my brother would say, well, hold back to block. So I'd hold back to block. But what they didn't tell me was that I needed to learn how to block low and block high. But no one ever taught me that. So I would try and play these games and I would get very frustrated. I also didn't know how to do the quarter circle forward punch Hadouken on Ryu, or Ryu, however you want to say it. I like saying Ryu just to get people angry. I'm a little bit of like I said, I'm a little bit fickle and whimsical sometimes, and mischievous. But, yeah, I never knew how to do that, because they would always say do quarter circle and punch. So I would always do quarter circle and keep holding forward towards my opponent, and press punch, which would never get the Hadouken off, which is why, like, I told my brother so many times, that's not how you do the Hadouken, because it's not working. And then he would do it, and he would not understand that he needed to tell me that I had to release forward and then press punch just after in order to get the Hadouken to go. So I recently, 28 years, not 28 years later, but 20 years later after first trying to do a Hadouken, finally can do it on, with a moderate good success rate, because I've been practicing on my copy of Street Fighter 2 Turbo for my Super Nintendo. But, oh man, that was just... that was terrible. I can't believe that I couldn't do a Hadouken for 20 years. So go ahead, shame me in the comments. I don't care. But I never really played fighting games just because they weren't my jam, because, the whole needing a tutorial on learning how to play them was kind of big, because I would always get smashed, just like game over on the screen. I would always get game overs because people would smash me and I wouldn't understand how to play, and no one would really teach me how to play. So I quit the story mode here because, it was getting around 25 minutes, and I wanted to find out how Triceracop plays. Because Triceracop's like I said, when he's one of my thematically favorite characters, because he's just like a dude and then a Triceratops head. Now, the way he works is when he attacks a character on a side, he kind of dodges back slightly. So that was giving my brain a little bit of a hiccup, because I'm usually used to the characters moving in the direction that they're attacking. So the fact that he moves in the opposite direction that he's attacking, it kind of threw me for a bit of a loop. So I'm not going to do well on this endless mode at all, but I just wanted to get this footage for you guys so you could see Triceracop and how he works. So he goes, I think it's pistol, pistol, double pistol, then a shotgun. So that's his progression, but they all do the same thing. There's no, like, ultimate Gatling like Barbariana has that I noticed with his shotgun. Anyway. Yeah, no, it doesn't. He just shot the cheerleader there, and there's no progression to, like, a one-hit combo. So at this point, I'm pretty much just tapping buttons because I've got pretty much what I need for this What's This episode. Which, when I saw this game on the PlayStation Store, I immediately knew I had to do a What's This of it. Like, I only bought this like 2 hours ago, sat down, recorded the footage, and I'm recording this now because I wanted to do this so bad for a What's This, because even if you guys don't like the look of the game, I really do hope you go watch Kung Fury. I think it's on Netflix, I think it's on Steam, you can watch it on Steam for free, I believe, hopefully still. I think you can still watch it on YouTube as well, hopefully you don't have to pay for it on YouTube. But yeah, there's a bunch of different places you can watch Kung Fury. And then of course, I rank the ninth player in order to get, you know, that high score. But yeah, I hit continue instead of hitting return to menu. And then of course, this is an awesome menu screen. You know, an exception 06 has occurred at 21, blah, blah, blah. And so I hit it back to the flavor screen and just roll back to show you the last few characters in all their awesome glory. Barbariana, I think, was my favorite character, just because she's got the big Gatling gun and it slices through an entire line of enemies. So, yeah, other than that, that's pretty much everything to do with Kung Fury Street Rage. So, if you want to pick this up, it's on PlayStation Network and probably some other stuff. But that's been another edition of What's This Wednesday? So, I don't know when there's going to be another edition of What's This Wednesday. It'll be on another random Wednesday. But until then... Oh, wait, no, hold on. I forgot I went back to this menu and I checked the chapter names for Aim for the Crotch and Meet My Final Form. So they do really go back to the old 80s aesthetic once more, and that's awesome. But this is the final time the video is going to end. Take care, everybody.